The Dark Ages is a term that conjures images of a bleak and grim period in European history, a time marked by ignorance, superstition, and cultural decline. However, the real truth about the Dark Ages is far more complex and fascinating. This era, spanning from the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century to the beginning of the Renaissance in the 14th century, was not just a time of darkness but also one of transformation, preservation, and even progress. Let's dive into the myths and realities of this misunderstood period to uncover the true nature of the Dark Ages. The term Dark Ages was coined during the Renaissance, a period that sought to distance itself from the past. It was used to describe the supposed cultural and intellectual stagnation of the Middle Ages. However, this view is heavily biased and doesn't reflect the whole truth. While there were certainly challenges, such as the fall of the Roman Empire and the subsequent political fragmentation, not all of Europe was plunged into darkness. Far from being a period of intellectual void, the Dark Ages saw the preservation of ancient knowledge. Monasteries across Europe became centers of learning where monks painstakingly copied and preserved manuscripts from classical antiquity. This effort ensured that works of philosophy, science, and literature from ancient Greece and Rome were not lost to time. The Irish monasteries, in particular, played a crucial role in safeguarding these texts during the early Middle Ages. The notion that the Dark Ages were devoid of scientific and cultural advancements is misleading. For instance, the Carolingian Renaissance in the 8th and 9th centuries, under the rule of Charlemagne, saw a revival of learning, art, and architecture. The introduction of the medieval university system laid the groundwork for the intellectual revival of the later Middle Ages. The works of scholars like Alcuin of York and John Scotus Eriugena contributed to a burgeoning intellectual culture that would eventually lead to the High Middle Ages. Contrary to popular belief, the Dark Ages were not devoid of technological innovation. This period saw significant developments in agriculture, such as the three-field crop rotation system and the heavy plow, which improved food production and supported population growth. The invention of the water mill and windmill also transformed industries like grain grinding and textile production. The Dark Ages were also a time of significant cultural exchange. The Byzantine Empire, the Islamic caliphates, and the various European kingdoms were all connected through trade, warfare, and diplomacy. The transmission of knowledge from the Islamic world to Europe, particularly in the fields of medicine, mathematics, and astronomy, was crucial to the intellectual revival of the later Middle Ages. The real truth about the Dark Ages is that it was a period of both struggle and progress. While Europe faced significant challenges, including political instability, invasions, and plagues, it was also a time of preservation, innovation, and cultural exchange. The Dark Ages laid the foundation for the Renaissance and the modern world, making it a period worth exploring with a nuanced understanding. The term Dark Ages may be a misnomer, but the era itself is a rich and integral chapter in the history of Western civilization.